Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. This is the pre-show mantra. We will get into the show momentarily. I am is the beginning of some of the most powerful words you can speak. Be sure to speak the right words after you use I am. I have some powerful ones here for you today. I am courageous. I am determined. I am unstoppable. I am victorious. I am love. I am gifted. I am anointed. I am blessed. I am healed. I am beautiful. I am whole. I am confident. I am forgiving. I am grateful. I am generous. I am strengthened. I am well abled. I am favored. I am God's masterpiece. The more you learn, the more you earn. Thereby, the more you earn, the more you learn. I am awake and present. I am connected to the universe. I have everything I need right now. I am grateful for my consciousness. I am clear. I am calm. I am peaceful. The answers are inside of me. I am intuitive. I trust my intention. I practice letting go of what does not serve me. Y'all ready for the show, y'all? Let's get into it. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are tuning in from around the globe. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast, and welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers family. This is a live market breakdown covering the $1 trillion stocks, SPX, the NASDAQ 100, SPY, and QQQ. We cover pre-market levels, opening bell moves, headlines. We'll be looking at charts, checking on Bitcoin and Ethereum levels, and some motivation along the way. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for education and entertainment only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Let's get into it, y'all.
You're more blessed than you think. Sometimes you just struggle to realize how much is in front of you because you're constantly thinking about what you have to obtain. The rich person is not the one who has a lot, but the one that has enough. So you should seek to have enough, inshallah.
All right, let's get into it, y'all. NVIDIA. Pre-market low, 189.29. Pre-market high, 190.27. Before we get into that, let's get into these market caps, y'all. This is the $1 Trillion Ticker show, so we cover the $1 trillion companies. Number one, most valuable company on the planet, NVIDIA, 4.5 trillion. Followed by Apple, 3.8 trillion. Google, 3.7 trillion. Microsoft, 3.5 trillion. Amazon, 2.5 trillion. TSM, 1.69 trillion. Meta, 1.66 trillion. AVGO, 1.62 trillion. Tesla, 1.43 trillion. And Berkshire.B, $1 trillion, y'all. Those are our $1 trillion tickers for today. All right, NVIDIA pre-market low 189.26, pre-market high 190.27. Apple pre-market low 256.73, pre-market high 260.34. Google's looking very strong in the pre-market, y'all. Google pre-market low 321.96, pre-market high 328.80. Woo, let's go, Google. Microsoft pre-market low 479.50, pre-market high 483.50. As you can see, Microsoft is in the gap, y'all. That's this blue part of the screen. This light blue part. This is the gap. This is another gap up here. So the gap will probably get filled today on Microsoft. Amazon pre-market low 240.70, pre-market high 243.96. TSM pre-market low 321.15, pre-market high 324.54. AVGO pre-market low. Looks like it bounced on my weekly level here at 340.40. And we have a pre-market high of 343.45. We might have an AVGO trade coming up, y'all. I'm going to pull it up on a daily a little bit later. Meta pre-market low 645 even, pre-market high 647.49. Tesla pre-market low 426.76, pre-market high 431.28. Berkshire.B pre-market low 494.41, pre-market high 495.53. The VIX gapped up overnight, and the VIX is back over 15. The VIX is at 1568, y'all. SPY pre-market low 687.83, with a pre-market high of 689.38. QQQ pre-market low 621.90, with a pre-market high of 623.78. SPX pre-market low 6,904, pre-market high 6,919. And the NASDAQ 100 pre-market low 25,560, and a pre-market high of 25,634, y'all. All right, let's check out this AVGO trade possibility. So I was checking out AVGO on a daily. I think I'll start checking out all these charts on a daily and see if we can find a trade. So this is what I saw on this chart, y'all. So this is AVGO on a daily. So every candle is 1 day. So we have the all-time high here at 414.61. This was on December 10th, and it has fell dramatically. Fell all the way down to at 321.46, almost $100 fall. Even though, as you can see here, they beat on earnings on the top and bottom, but it sold off. And that's why you shouldn't play earnings, because even if they beat, they can still drop dramatically. And it even gapped down here. But anyway, so I have this trend line connected from here in August, late August of 25. And then we have a bounce. We have almost a bounce here, but I'm not going to count it because it didn't touch the line. But we definitely had a bounce here December 17th. And it looks like it's coming back to this trend line, this diagonal trend line, which is also very close to our weekly support level here. So I'm thinking once AVGO, if it just consolidates for a couple more weeks, then once it hits this trend line, if it's combined with this weekly support level, that we could be headed to the upside. Because last time it came into this daily supply zone, it just sold off. So we may have one more trip up to supply zone before we come down and retest this weekly level. So that's my view to the upside, but to the downside, this might be just a huge bear flag, y'all. Like, this might be the actual. I'll show you what I see here. This might just be a bear flag, y'all. This the pole, this the flag. So this thing might be breaking down. So that's my bearish case for AVGO, and then that's my bullish case, what I said previously. If it does go bearish, I do have this daily demand zone here, so I don't expect it to break this level. Oh, we do actually have a gap down here. Look at this gap, y'all. Oh, that is bearish, y'all. So I see if this bear flag plays out, then it may come fill this whole gap down to 308 for real. So yeah, if it does that, then we gotta look for more support. It may bounce after filling this gap. If not, then I do see some more buyers down here. So if we end up breaking, this would be crazy if it came all the way down here. But you never know, because we coming up on the market cycle where February is normally a terrible month in the market, especially for tech. So yeah, if this bear flag continues through, and then we end up getting clapped as a whole in the market, and then we come down, fill this gap, I definitely see a bounce down here if it ends up coming down here. Look, another gap down here. You know, all gaps don't get filled, about 90%. But that's what I see on the chart, y'all. I just gotta point it out, let you know. Alright. So that's what I see on AVGO. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this bear flag. Alright, and then we'll just leave that as is, Alright. Okay, let's check out some news. I think we got how much time we got? No, the market's about to open in a second, so I'm not gonna starting on any news. Let me just prepare my chart here. So this chart is presented by TradingView. This is an 8-chart display. The most valuable companies in the world. In the top left, we have NVIDIA. To the right, we have Apple, Google, Microsoft. And in the bottom row, we have Amazon, TSM, AVGO, and Meta Platforms, y'all. All right, let's get into it. Market open, market open, market open. Let's go, y'all. Market open. January 8th, 2026. The market is open. Let's get this money, y'all. Let's get it. All right, NVIDIA. Oh, you know what I gotta do? Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me flip this right quick. Man, oh man. Give me 1 second, 1 second. Don't panic. Let's get it. Let's get this money. All right, there we go. We good. We good. We back. All right. Let's check out these prices. Let's see how we moving. Let's go on a 1-minute chart so you can see. You can see the movement, y'all. You can see it way more clear. All right, we got NVIDIA fractionally down at 188.93. Apple is down over 1.25% at 256.80. Google is up 1.25% at 326.51. Microsoft is down over 1/4% at 481.44. Amazon is up 0.75% at 243.58. TSM is up almost 1% at 321.58. AVGO is down almost 0.75% at 341.55. Meta is down over 1% at 641. Tesla is down 1.5% at 425. Berkshire.B is down 1/4% at 494. The VIX is up almost 2% at 1567. SPY is down fractionally at 688.93. QQQ is down 1/4% at 622.18. SPX is down fractionally at 6,914. And the NASDAQ 100 is down 1/4% at 25,570. All right, let's get into some news. This first piece of news comes from Earn Your Leisure. This was an interview they did, and check out that knowledge, y'all.
There's different ways to learn. The problem with the school system in America is that they only focus on one way of learning, but there's like 12 different ways to learn. And reading is not the way that everybody learns. Me personally, I listen to more audiobooks. Shout out to Audible. I listen to more audiobooks than I actually read because I retain the information a lot better if I hear it than if I actually read it. And I learn a lot from conversation. So now we're in a day and age where you can learn from podcasts. You can learn from YouTube. You can learn from having conversation. You can learn from audiobooks. And that shouldn't be discounted. It shouldn't be discredited. You don't necessarily have to learn from traditional reading because a lot of people are not reading and they're getting discouraged because they don't have time to read or their learning style is not, comprehensive to that. And then they get diagnosed with learning disabilities. And that's a whole different conversation. But there's a lot of different ways to learn. And, you have to actually, learn how you need to learn.
That's real game, y'all. Shout out to Rashad from EYL. How do you learn? Do you learn from reading books? Do you learn from audio books? Do you learn from podcasts? Do you know the style of learning that is specific for you?
There's different ways to learn.
And if you do, then that is the way you need to do it. We are not in school anymore. Shout out to all the kids that's in school. If you're listening to this, then you're going to be hella rich because you up early for real. I know when I was going to school, I would not be up at 6:30 in the morning. No. I'm not getting up. But, maybe that's why I'm not rich right now. So, shout out to all the kids that's up early getting their learning in before they even get to school. But, yeah. If you're a kid, learn your learning style. If you already grown, figure out what is your style of learning and then get on that. You know what I mean? Is it books? Is it podcasts? Is it audio books? You know what I mean? Is it YouTube videos? Whatever it is, just get on that, y'all. This next piece of news is from ARK Invest. Kathy Woods and them. It says, in 2004, Facebook was limited to college students. In 2006, Twitter was 140 character status update. In 2011, Uber was just black cars in San Francisco. People didn't miss these big ideas because they ignored them. They missed them because they underestimated them. They just saw an app, not a platform, a convenience, not a new market. By the time the scale was clear, the opportunity was already massive. Before it was obvious. On what's next. ARK's Big Ideas 2026 coming soon, y'all. So we have to recognize what opportunities are here. And ARK is going to help us figure that out when they drop their big ideas for 2026, y'all. I'm definitely gonna check it out. She was definitely heavy in Tesla before everybody else, so she has research that does actually look toward the future. Shout out Kathy. I thought this was interesting. Elon had reposted this. It says Tesla is now the largest energy storage provider in the world. 46.7 gigawatts deployed in 2025 alone, powered by mega factories in Lathrop and Shanghai. From 4 gigawatts in 2021 to 47 gigawatts in 2025, nearly a 12x growth in 4 years. Tesla now holds approximately 15 to 20% of global grid scale battery storage. That's enough to power Las Vegas for about 5 days. Grid scale storage is scaling fast. That's very interesting. So I wonder how that is going to affect all these data centers that are being built that need all this extra energy that the United States is not ready to handle. They always talk about the energy grid being overwhelmed by all these data centers that are being built. So Tesla is not only a car company, it is an energy company. Talking about them numbers right there, y'all. All right. Let's check out some of our ETFs, y'all. Some of our sectors first. Let's check out some of our sectors. XLK, our technology sector, is down almost 1% at 145.16. XLY, our consumer discretionary ETF, is down fractionally at 120.74. XLC, our communications ETF, is down over 0.25% at 316.71. XLF is up fractionally at 55.71. XLV is up over 0.25% at 160.14. XLP is up over 0.5% at 77.11. XLE is up over 1% at 45.59. XLU is up over 0.5% at 42.13. XLI is up over 1% at 160.16. And XLRE is at break even at $40.13, y'all. So these are ETFs. If you don't want to buy one individual company, you want to reduce the risk of being an investor that invests in one singular company, you can invest in an ETF. So this is like investing in, if the whole stock market is a grocery store, each of these sectors is like an aisle in a grocery store. So you could definitely invest in a whole grocery store with something like, let me pull it up right quick. Something like SPYM. So this is the whole grocery store, y'all. The 500 biggest companies on the market. And you can get it for $81 right now, y'all. You can invest in the S&P 500. This is a State Street sanctioned fund. State Street is top 5 largest in the world when it comes to capital. So you can buy this for $81. You can buy the S&P 500 for $81 a share, y'all. And you can check out the growth, y'all. So this is the growth of the S&P. This goes back, this particular fund goes back to 2005. And as you can see here, year over year, it's growing, y'all. Look. Let's go. 15 years ago, this was $15. And now it's $81. Look at that growth, y'all. Look at that growth. That's 453% growth in 15 years if you invested in the S&P 500. Now, why are you trying to pick individual stocks when you could get that type of growth from an individual ETF like the S&P 500, y'all? You don't have to pay. So this is the mini version of the S&P 500. Now you could pay. This is the big dog, SPY. You know what I mean? It'll give you the same growth as SPY, but SPY is going to cost you $688, y'all, per share. So do you want to pay $688 or do you want to pay $81? It's up to you. It's the same companies, it's the same holdings, it's the same percentages, but you'll get way more shares. So that means when they pay a dividend, you'll get way more dividends for the same amount of money, y'all. So I just wanted to share that. And then this is like buying the whole grocery store. And then these are buying individual aisles. So if you want to buy the technology aisle, it's going to cost you $144, y'all. If you want to buy consumer discretionary aisle, it's going to cost you $121. If you want to buy the communications aisle, it's going to cost you $116. If you want to buy a financial aisle, it's going to cost you $55. That's less than $100, y'all. That's less than $100. If you want to buy the best financial companies on the market, it's only going to cost you $55. Let's check out their growth for the past 15 years. So if we go, we started in 2011 for the 15 years. 378%, y'all, in 15 years. So you definitely have to think about the long term when it comes to investing. Okay, you could have bought an individual bank and hopefully you got it right. If you didn't, then you should have bought this ETF. XLF, y'all. That's a lot of gains, y'all. That's a lot of gains. This is the type of chart that you like to see, the upper momentum. You know what I mean? XLV, you want to invest in healthcare? Let's check out healthcare over the past 15 years. Healthcare, 381%, y'all. Are you trying to guess healthcare companies, or do you want to just invest in an ETF that covers the best companies in that sector and let it work for you? There it is, y'all. Big gains. Big gains. You just got to zoom out, y'all. You just got to zoom out and you'll be able to see what you need to invest in. You could buy any of these aisles or you could buy the whole store. So I just wanted to show y'all that. All right, let's get back to the news. All right. I thought this was interesting. This was from Twitter. It says, brands owned by Amazon. Wow, it's definitely way too many to read. It's way too many to read, y'all. Let me see. Audible, Amazon Studios, IMDb, Twitch, Amazon Music, Woot, Kindle, Zapatos, Amazon Marketplace, Amazon Cash, Amazon Prime, Whole Foods, PillPack, Amazon Fresh, Blink, Luna, Astro, Amazon Fire TV, The Big Dog, AWS, Body Labs, Amazon Drive, Amazon Robotics, Wickedly Prime, Amazon Elements, Good Threads. Yeah, it's too many to read, y'all. But let's just say, let me give you the sections of the actual companies. So they have media and entertainment, they have e-commerce, they have retail and household, They have devices and services. They have cloud computing. They have technology. They have logistics. And they have proprietary brands. So this is probably 100 companies under the Amazon name. So if you're invested in Amazon, you're basically invested in over 100 companies. I don't know what happened to my music. It just turned off, but I turned it back on. All right. So over 100 companies. So Amazon not just going to fall like that. It's too many. It has its hand in too many different lanes, y'all. Amazon is a power player. Definitely hold Amazon for the long term, y'all. Okay, this next piece of news. Before we get to that news, let's check out the heat map, y'all. Okay, so this is the heat map. This is the S&P 500 heat map. So gray means very close, means between 0.5% down and 0.5% up. And then green, dark green means between 0.5% and 1.5% to the upside. Mid green means 1.5% to 2.5% to the upside. And light green means 2.5% and up, y'all, for price. And to the downside, dark red means 0.5% to negative 0.5% to the downside. Medium red means minus 1.5% to minus 2.5% to the downside. And light red means minus 2.5% and more. Okay, so let's see what we got. NVIDIA and Apple and Microsoft and Meta all down, y'all, over 1%. Google is up almost 0.75%. AVGO is down 2.5%. GE is up 1%. AMD down 1%. Cisco is down almost 1%. ANET is down over 2.5%. Berkshire.B, JP Morgan, they're both up over 0.5%. MasterCard, Bank of America, and Morgan Stanley are up almost 0.5%. Now Wells Fargo is up over 1%. Visa is down almost 0.75%. Eli Lilly is up 0.75%. Yeah, it's a lot more green outside of tech, y'all. It's a lot more green outside of tech. And yeah, we could just look at the sectors right here and we can see consumer staples is running, y'all. It's up 1.25%. But industrials is leading the pack, y'all. Industrials is up almost 1.5%. That's probably based on that Trump news about defense spending. So we'll get to that later. I think I have a piece of news on that. All right, let's check out. I thought this was interesting. This is from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talking about the food pyramid. Y'all remember the food pyramid? Told us to drink milk and stuff. All lies. All lies. Let's check it out.
Today, about 50% of the calories that our children eat are ultra-processed food or highly refined carbohydrates that's literally poisoning them. And that is the result of a food pyramid that was driven by mercantile impulses that put Fruit Loops at the top of the fruit pyramid. We now have a science-based food pyramid that is based upon the most recent best science. And it's telling people to eat proteins, They eat a lot of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and that is going to transform the American dietary culture.
There it is, y'all. He said they had Fruit Loops on a food pyramid. Can you believe it? They had Fruit Loops on a food pyramid, y'all. Y'all gotta eat more fruits and vegetables, man, and whole grains, man. That's what we gotta do, y'all. We gotta be healthy out here. So much of what we learned in school was just based on companies trying to sell us stuff and prepare us for the workforce. So many lies, y'all. So many lies. It's ridiculous. All right. This next piece of news comes from Tom Lee. I'm going to go ahead and play it, y'all.
I think 7,700 by the end of 2026 with a 15 to 20% correction at some point in the second half of the year. Yeah, like compressed in 1 year will be joy, depression, and rally, right? I think just like last year, in 2025, we had a terrible start. People got very gloomy. Then we had a nice rally to finish the year. In April. Yeah, April was the low. Yeah. So I think because, the market will test the new Fed, that probably is the reason we have some fear this year. But there's a lot of things to be optimistic about. The tariffs are anniversarying. The Fed is cutting. And, the ISM could finally turn back above 50, and that's good news. And, we are pretty optimistic about some groups that have lagged, like energy is one of our top sector picks this year. With the Mag 7. And then the Mag 7 should still keep producing good earnings growth. And then the financials and small caps. So it's like a lot of things that could go right in the market. The 7,700, so do we get a 10% gain in earnings and the multiple stays where it is? Is that your thesis, basically? I think earnings will do even better. And the multiple comes down. Yeah, so it's because other sectors are re-rating, but the Mag 7 might just track their earnings growth. So that'll pull the overall PE down.
What y'all think, man? You think he's right? He's a super bull. But, man, if that happens, a 15 to 20% correction, just like last year, we had that super correction in April. He's saying that could possibly happen again with us ending up 10% on the year. This year, 2025, we ended up 16% on the S&P. But he's saying we're only going to end up 10%, which is not bad, which is basically average historically. But if we get a 15 to 20% correction, what y'all gonna do? We gonna buy some shares, y'all. We gonna buy some shares. That's what we gonna do. We gonna drop a bag in that market, y'all. We gonna drop a bag in that market. We gonna buy the best companies in the world, the best ETFs in the world when they on discount, y'all. That's what we gonna do. And when they get back to all-time highs, what we gonna do? Hey, LaRussell, when we get back to all-time highs, what we gonna do?
Said, go get that bag. Go get that bag. Get that bag. Get that bag. Get that bag. Go get that bag. Get that bag. Go get that bag. Said.
That's what we gonna do. When that thing drop and we buy the dip and we get back up to the top, we finna get that bag, y'all. Shout out to Russell, man. I gotta buy that album too. I've been meaning to buy it. Russell said he was trying to sell 100,000 records in a month. He's been getting celebrities. Celebrities have bought his album for a lot of money. I think Snoop paid like $2,500 for his album, and Kyrie Irving paid like $11,000 for his album. So I'm definitely gonna support that brother. He's definitely a good brother, man. And I love the innovation. I love the hustle. I love the The Bay Swag, man. He's definitely the future of the Bay Area when it comes to independent artists, man. And he's definitely going to be breaking records and making millions independent, man. And I'm happy to see it, man. And he's just being himself, man. And it's great to see. I'm definitely going to buy that album and help him get to 100,000 records sold, y'all. All right. This next piece of news comes from Business Insider. This lady right here. It's what she has to say about how we can improve. She says, I recommend dedicating 1 hour a day to learning AI. Within 6 months, you'll see real progress, and these skills will be critical for the next decade. She works at Microsoft. She is a senior engineer. Nandita Giri, who credits self-taught AI skills for her rapid career ascent from Amazon to Meta, positioning AI as an enhancer rather than a job threat in software engineering. Giri argues that dedicating 1 hour daily to AI learning yields noticeable progress in 6 months, aligning with surging demand at tech giants where traditional roles have declined over 5 years. Her recommended beginner resources: 3 blue, 1 brown videos, fast.ai projects, and Ang's Coursera course focus on practical application supported by her automation of tasks like email outreach for greater impact. Oh, I have to check out some of those videos she was talking about. Let me take note of that right quick, y'all. I'm definitely interested. I love AI. And before AI takes my job, I'm going to learn about it. So maybe it won't take my job. How about you? Do you agree? All right. Let's check on these numbers right quick, y'all. I'm gonna run all these numbers, not only the $1 trillion tickers, but some of the other companies that we like to cover on this show as well, y'all. $1 trillion tickers, y'all. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live and TikTok Live, y'all. Let's check out SPX. Is down almost 0.25% at 6,910. The NASDAQ 100 is down almost 1% at 25,440. The VIX is up to 1560. SPY is down fractionally at 688. QQQ is down over 0.75% at 619. Apple is down over 1.5% at 256. AVGO is getting clapped. AVGO is down 3%. We're gonna come back to AVGO and see where we at. Oh, we headed toward that gap, yo. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're gonna check that out in a second. Amazon is up over 1% at 244.10. Google is barely over break even at 321.77. Meta is down almost 2% at 636.29. Microsoft is down 1.25% at 477.59. NVIDIA is down 2%, y'all, at 185.17. Tesla is down 0.25% at 430. AMD is down almost 2% at 206. Bitcoin is down 1.5% at it's back under 90,000, y'all. Bitcoin is back under 90,000. Bitcoin is at 89,808, y'all. IBIT is down over 1% at $50.92. Ethereum is still holding 3,000, y'all. Ethereum, but it's down heavy though. It's down over 3% at 3,067. BMNR is down over 3% at $29.36. Palantir is down almost 0.5% at 180.91. Hood is down over 2% at 114. Wow, Hood is at 114. Ooh, that thing come down to 100. I might have to buy it, y'all. Grab is down over 3%, over 3.25% at 492, y'all. And XLG is down over 0.5% at 59.07. Let's check out AVGO on the daily. Oh, look, we almost at the trend line right now, y'all. Remember I was telling you about that trend line? We almost at the trend line right now. So we do got some demand right here. This daily demand zone. And then one thing about gaps, a lot of times before it fills the gap completely, it will fill it halfway. So you can see this gray line is the midpoint of the gap. So if it does, I'm expecting it to bounce here on my trend line and head back to the upside. If it doesn't, we do have this demand zone here and the middle of the gap. So I really don't see this gap getting filled immediately. But it looks like that that bear flag that we talked about earlier might be playing out here. We'll see, y'all. We'll see. But we definitely getting close. I do expect a bounce on my trend line. We'll see. We'll check it out tomorrow and see what happens. Or maybe at the end of the day today. It's already down over 3%. How much further could it go in one day? Sheesh. The tech sell-off is intense, y'all. The tech sell-off is intense. We almost down 2%, y'all, on technology. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. This is the technology sector, XLK. So it rejected this area here. Came down. Did not break the high. So we may be coming down to this 139.50 weekly level here, y'all, on tech. And if we do, AVGO is definitely going to fill that gap. All right, let's check out our next piece of news here. Let's check out the Fear and Greed Index, y'all. Let me refresh. Let's see where we at. Oh yeah, we headed toward fear, y'all. We are still in neutral. We're still in neutral right now. The Fear and Greed Index is at 45, but it's knocking on the door of fear, y'all. All right, let's check out this next piece of news here. Next piece of news comes from Business Insider. Wall Street banks are racing to integrate AI, reshaping everything from trading floors to C-suites. Major banks like JP Morgan has a $2 billion AI investment for 200,000 employee tools. And Citigroup, AI is saving 100,000 developer hours weekly. They're deploying generative AI to automate workflows from code reviews to performance evaluations, as detailed in the linked Business Insider article, y'all. Industry reports from McKinsey and this Deloitte project, generative AI adding 200 to 300 billion annually to banking revenues while boosting front office productivity by 27 to 35% at top investment banks, though scaling requires robust data strategies, y'all. Recent discussions highlight workforce shifts, such as Goldman's report on 2026 recalibration from AI integration and JP Morgan's AI-driven proxy analysis tool, reducing third-party reliance, signaling efficiency gains amid potential job role changes, y'all. So should we invest in financials this year because of this? That's a lot of money. It said it's going to be adding between 200 and 340 billion annually to banking revenues, y'all. That's a lot. Should we be investing in XLF this year? I think we might have to get some XLF shares this year, y'all. They cheap, around $50. We might have to get some XLF shares this year. The only thing is I don't want to buy it at the all-time high, y'all. That's the only thing, man. Let's check out XLF right quick. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's only 50 cents away from the all-time high. I definitely don't want to buy it this high. But I do want to get some shares of XLF this year. Yeah, it's not even 1% off the all-time high. I definitely can't buy it right now. So let's check out if this thing fall. If we have that 15 to 20% drop Tom Lee was talking about. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah. Okay, it's going to be under $51. Actually have to adjust this chart. Okay, let's see. If we want to buy XLK at 10, if we want to buy XLF at 10% off, we need to wait. We need this thing at $50.88, y'all. If we want to buy XLF at 10% off. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely got to wait. I'm not buying it this high. All right. Our next piece of news comes from Forbes. It says there was a surge in defense stocks following President Trump's Truth Social announcement of a $1.5 trillion 2027 defense budget, y'all. Ooh, Trump ain't playing. Dropping that bag. 1.5 trillion 2027 defense budget. A 50% increase aimed at building a dream military, y'all. Companies like Kratos, Northrop Grumman, and Lockheed Martin were all up in the pre-market today, y'all. Wow. That is a lot, y'all. Trump is dropping the bag and he don't care. This is next piece of news comes from Walter Bloomberg. Trump administration dismissed health officials who wanted to tighten alcohol guidelines. I wonder what they was talking about. Are you talking about an age increase? Because I have been hearing lately that the next generation, Gen Z, they're not drinking as much as the previous generations. I definitely heard that. Let me see. This post highlights a reported internal conflict in the Trump administration over alcohol policy, coinciding with the January 7th release yesterday of the 2025 through 2030 dietary guidelines for Americans, which eliminate prior limits of 1 drink daily for women and 2 for men, opting instead for a vague consume less for better health advisory. I didn't know they was recommending 1 drink for women and 2 drinks for men per day. I didn't even know that. I wonder if they talking about wine. I know they ain't talking about beer or shots. The decision mirrors the administration's first term, when officials rejected a scientific panel's recommendation to tighten men's limit to one drink, influenced by alcohol industry lobbying. Oh yeah, man. So the alcohol companies, they was lobbying Congress to recommend one drink per day or 2 drinks per day so they can make money. Man, if everything ain't about money in this capitalist country, y'all, you already know it is. All right. I think that's it, y'all. Oh, I think we might have some more from Instagram. Let's see. Oh yeah, shout out Ashley Fox, man.
So look at the stock market and investing. It's like, I'm not saying you have to invest in the stock market, but I can tell you right now, you can't save or work your way to wealth. And people have, I'm going to save money. Good. How has that gotten you? I'm going to work. Great. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I work in my company too. You cannot solely rely on that. And you can go start your business. I did that too. It took me a very long time to get to where I am. And it's not for everybody, but you can invest in somebody else's business. I'd rather make money off of Amazon continuing to become a multi-trillion-dollar business while I go build my company.
Yes, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we're finna run these numbers one more time and then we out of here, y'all. All right, let's check out the sectors. Oh, matter of fact, since we got a little time today, we can see if there's any trades. So this is what I've been checking out. So this is for the top 2 is for day traders. So this is the 4-minute chart here on the left and the 10-minute chart here on the right. And then underneath we got the 1-hour chart. And then on the right we got the 4-hour chart. So we'll just go down the list and see if we have any trades called by the algo, y'all. Okay, we got a buy here at 7 o'clock on the 10-minute, y'all. Oh, we did get a close notification, a close signal. So had you gotten in, you'd be down 25 cents, which is not bad. But once this candle closes in 6 minutes, if this close signal is still here, then you need to get out the trade. And if the close signal goes away, then you can stay in the trade and your target will be 691. Okay, no other new signals here on SPY. QQQ, what we got? Do we got anything? This is brought to you by the Level Up Algo. We do have a buy here on the 4-minute chart for QQQ, but you do have to wait until 1 minute 50 seconds till this candle closes. This candle's not closed yet, so don't get in it yet. We had a strong sell on the opening 10-minute candle. It got very close to TP1, but it did not hit. Let's check out Apple. Apple, nope. Nothing on Apple. AVGO trying to recover, y'all. That thing was down over 3% earlier. It did have a sell here on the 10-minute on AVGO. You would have got in at 338.14 and you would have hit TP1. Nice. 332. Nice $6 move, y'all. Shout out to the algo. Amazon. Let's see what we got. Nothing on the 10-minute. We did have a strong buy here on the 4-minute. That did not work out. So the 4-minute was faked out, y'all. Google. Okay. Google does have a buy here on the 4-minute, and the entry is 325.20, y'all. So this is on the 4-minute chart for my scalpers. The target is 326.63. All right. Let's see what else. Meta. Come on, Meta. What is going on? Uh-oh. Meta with the strong sell on the pre-market. Uh-oh. Not good. Not good. Meta did have a strong sell on the 10-minute on the opening candle at 638. To the downside, the target was 361. It did not hit it though. It did give you a $3 move, but it ended up finding a base right here. Oh, we got a buy signal. You do have to wait for this candle to close, but this candle is going to close in less than 3 minutes. So if Meta goes to the upside, this will turn into a buy signal. On the 10-minute chart. All right, let's see what we got. We did have a strong sell on the 4-minute chart on Microsoft at 636. The entry was 478. It did hit take profit at 476, y'all. NVIDIA. Oh, NVIDIA got a strong sell on the hourly. It did start in the pre-market, though. It did start in the pre-market. I like my algo calls when the market is open. Okay, they got a buy on a 4-minute at 648. Hit TP1. The 80-cent move before pulling back. Okay, Tesla here had a strong buy on the 10-minute chart, and you would have got in at 428. It did come down. You felt some pressure, but it did end up hitting TP1 at 433. So that was a nice $5 move from Tesla from the algo, y'all. AMD. See if we got anything on AMD, y'all. AMD had a strong sell on the 10-minute, the opening candle, from 208.61 to 206. You would have hit TP1 halfway to TP2, y'all, for AMD. Bitcoin trying to turn around, y'all. Bitcoin has reestablished 90,000. Bitcoin has a buy on a 10-minute, y'all, with the entry being 90,216, with the take profit being 90,732. Over 500 tick move, y'all, on Bitcoin. iBit had a buy on the 4-minute. Okay, iBit has a buy on the 10-minute at 51.17 with a target of 51.49, y'all. So you can get in this trade right now. You're only less than 10 cents away from entry. So if you trust the 10-minute signal, that is for you. But on the hour, we are in a sell on the hourly. Ethereum. Let's see what we got. Ethereum got a strong buy. You gotta wait for the candle to close. You gotta wait 9 more minutes for the candle to close, but you do have a pending strong buy here on Ethereum. Just do a couple more. BMNR got a strong sell yesterday on a 4-hour. The entry was 30.35 with a take profit of 29.08 that it did hit today. So that 4-hour signal worked for BMNR. Palantir. What do we got on Palantir, y'all? Palantir had a strong sell in the pre-market. If you were to follow that, you would have hit TP1. And Robinhood. All right, Robinhood had a strong sell in the pre-market as well. Had you followed that at market open, you would have been scared when it came against you here, but it did come down to hit TP1 and TP2. All right. So that's that. Let me know if y'all like the algos signals for the charts. Maybe we can add that into the show every day. Well, at least on the days that I don't have to work early, y'all. All right, so that's it for today's show. What I will show you now is my stock market basics for beginners. 15 investing questions answered. This is my YouTube video. So if you want to learn the basics of the stock market, you can check out my YouTube video, Matt Rich's 510 AI Music. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live and TikTok Live.
What exactly is the stock market? Think of it as a giant online grocery app for businesses, where you pick up shares or items for your portfolio or pantry. The market building is where all company brands are kept in one place. Investors aim to buy these brands when they are on sale at a lower price. What is a share or a stock? Think of a sheet cake analogy. A trillion-dollar company is cut into billions of bite-sized pieces or shares to make it affordable for everyone. Even though your piece is small, it's 100% real cake, and its value grows if the whole cake grows. Why do companies sell pieces of themselves to the public? Companies sell shares to raise cash to grow faster and find partners. They are building a global empire and need fuel, your money, to reach their big dreams. When they win, you win. Investing is the act of consistently contributing your money to a wealth-building machine. It's a long-term habit of buying pieces of great businesses. Saving is like buying bottled water. But investing is like building a reservoir. You're building generational wealth that can support your family for decades. What is inflation? It's the invisible money eater that causes prices to rise, meaning your dollar buys less over time. Inflation is like a leaky water bottle, where drops of your savings leak out every year. You invest so your money grows faster than the money eater can increase prices. Why invest instead of just saving? Saving is defensive, keeping what you have. Investing is offensive, making it grow. Saving is like putting star players on the bench, safe but unable to score. Investing is putting them on the field to work and earn a paycheck so you eventually don't have to. A brokerage account is a special financial app or toolbox to help you manage, track, and grow wealth. Think of it as a professional greenhouse. A bank account is a dark closet where seeds never grow. The greenhouse provides the soil and environment for your investments to grow for years. What is a share price? It's the current price tag for one single crumb of a company, reflecting what shoppers are willing to pay right now. To find a good deal, you must look at the value in the piece, not just the sticker price. How much money do you need to start? And what are, quote, fractional shares? You can start with less than $100 because fractional shares allow you to buy slices of high-priced companies. This removes the velvet rope for new investors, allowing you to own profit-making power immediately. You make money from investments in two ways: capital gains and dividends. Capital gains are when the value goes up, like a tree getting bigger. Dividends are when the company pays you cash, like fruit falling off the tree. You want a mix of both for generational wealth. Compound interest is, quote, interest on interest. It is the mathematical snowball effect where your money earns a profit and then that profit starts earning its own profit. Compound interest is the engine and your contributions are the gasoline. It builds wealth exponentially. An ETF, or exchange traded fund, is a basket of stocks. Instead of buying one company, you buy a single share of a fund that owns hundreds. It's like buying a pre-made fruit salad bowl instead of a single pineapple. ETFs are the easy button for keeping your wealth growing. A sector is a specific category of the economy. Broad market ETFs are like a pre-filled cart. Sector ETFs, like the technology aisle, let you shop in just one category. Specialized ETFs focus even more, like the semiconductor shelf. These options let you focus your investments. Risk in investing is the possibility that your investment could lose value. However, the biggest risk is inflation eating your money while you're too afraid to act. Managing risk is like driving with a seatbelt and speed limit. Stay diversified and keep your eyes on the long-term road. Market volatility is the up and down movement of stock prices. It's temporary, normal, and creates opportunities. Volatility is like the drops on a roller coaster, while growth is the upward slope. Don't confuse a dip with a defeat. When prices drop, it's a flash sale, the best time to add to your reservoir.
Think volatility is scary? Zoom out. In the last 5 decades, the market has been positive nearly 80% of the time, with an average annual return of 11.7%. The long-term story is always the same: growth. If you're playing the long game, you're already winning. Hit that follow button for more ways to master the market. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.
That's it, y'all. So I'm gonna put a link to that video in the comments so you can watch it again if you liked it, or you can send it to somebody else. It's great information. I'm actually working on another one. I'll be done very soon. And shout out to everybody who tuned in on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. Shout out to everybody that's going to tune in on Spotify and iHeartRadio as soon as I upload it. Let's get this money, y'all. You know how we like to close the show out with a neighborhood nip.
It don't happen overnight, and there's going to be moments when it's really, really frustrating. And it's going to be moments when it's really, really inspiring and empowering. And if you get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're going to take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work, appreciating it, when it's good and not stressing too bad when it's bad, just appreciating the work and staying focused on showing up every day.
Damn, bro. What you going to do with all that money?
Make more money.
Okay, and with that money?
Make more money.
And with that money?
Make more money.
What we gonna do in 2026, LaRussell?
Said, go get that bag. Go get that bag. Get that bag. Get that bag. Get that bag. Go get that bag. Get that bag. Go get.
It's all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. $1 trillion tickers. We'll be back tomorrow for the pre-market, market open, and breaking news, y'all. I'm your host, Matt Riches. See you then. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.